The ever-busy CEO is burning up with a 40-degree fever, yet still insists on working from home and refuses to see a doctor. Nazli brews him a honey turmeric tea, known to help with the flu, but Farret scoffs at it, calling it some ridiculous home remedy. Thankfully, Nazli knows how to handle him. Like coaxing a child, with a mix of sweet persuasion and subtle threats, she finally gets him to drink it all. She even makes him chicken soup and adjusts his posture so he can enjoy it properly. Just as things start to feel countsy, the unwelcome third wheel barges in. Demet immediately senses the subtle chemistry between them and burns with jealousy. With a syrupy smile, she insists on feeding Farret the soup herself and even tries to touch his forehead, only to be firmly rejected. Still, she doesn't back off. She brings up old memories, saying that she used to care for Farret the exact same way when he was sick. But Farret shuts her down coldly. "I don't remember, and I don't want to." Her smile stiffens in embarrassment, but she quickly shifts her focus. Demet turns to Nazli with a smug taunt. "Even if Farret and I broke up, he still treasures me. The only reason he keeps Bulud away from me is because he can't handle seeing a life I'm no longer part of." Nazli is stunned. This is the first she's heard of their engagement. Though Nazli pretends not to care, after Demet leaves, she gets into a fight with Farret. She accuses Farret of never telling her any of this, dragging her into a mess she didn't sign up for. She thought she was protecting Bulud. Turns out, she was just caught in his unresolved feelings. Farret, already exhausted, doesn't want to argue. Just as he rises to leave, Dennis walks in, right on cue. He's heard Farret is sick and drops by to check on him. Upon seeing Nazli, Dennis greets her with a warm cheek-to-cheek kiss. Farret catches the sight, and something twists in his chest. Without a word, he retreats to the living room and lies down. From the couch, he watches them in the kitchen, leaning in close, laughing at inside jokes, sharing a rhythm that feels far too familiar. He tries to focus on work, but the jealousy gnaws at him, worsening his fever. By the time Nazli is ready to head home, he's so weak he can barely lift his head. Only after her repeated urging does the stubborn Farret finally call the doctor. In the evening, Bulud keeps yelling that he wants to talk to his uncle Farret. Demet has no alternative but to make a video call. Farret isn't feeling well, so he hands the phone to Nazli. The moment Bulud sees her, his eyes light up with joy, while Demet's face immediately darkens. After all, Farret has never let anyone stay over at his house before. Farret and Nazli, side by side, spend half an hour talking softly with the little boy until he finally agrees to sleep. A scene so tender and intimate it stings Demet to the core, as if watching a real family she's no longer a part of. The next morning, Demet takes aim at Nazli. She arranges for an anonymous letter to be delivered to Farret, accusing Nazli's sister of secretly photographing the share transfer document. A USB drive is enclosed, containing the very images pulled from Nazli's sister's phone. The letter makes one thing crystal clear. Nazli knew all about it and had been covering for her sister. The usually stoic millionaire sure knows how to flirt when he wants to. When a smudge of chocolate appears on Nazli's lip, he moves in close, dabbing at her mouth with a handkerchief. Nazli's heart skips like a drum, and she doesn't even notice her sister calling again and again. Half an hour earlier, Yaman had shown up at Farret's company for a job interview. The moment Farret's cousin learns she's Nazli's sister, he hires her on the spot as his assistant. As Yaman headed downstairs, she ran into Demet. Pleased with her sudden success, she told Demet she wanted nothing more to do with her schemes. She was tired of betraying her sister and refused to help Demet anymore. Unexpectedly, Demet had come prepared and delivered the real blow. "I already sent the letter to Farret. Any minute now, he'll find out how you and your sister stabbed him in the back." Yaman was horrified and kept calling Nazli over and over again. Just as Farret is about to open the envelope, Nazli finally answers the call and learns the urgent information. Nazli hurriedly knocks a glass off the kitchen counter. Hearing the crash, Farret rushes over and stops opening the letter. Nazli picks up the broken shards with her bare hands, cutting herself in the process. Farret panics, grabbing the first aid kit and gently bandages her wound. "It's just a cup. Don't hurt yourself over something so small." His tenderness only makes Nazli feel more guilty. Tears spill down her cheeks. But deep down, she tells herself, protecting her sister matters more than anything. When Farret steps away to the bathroom, Nazli quietly finds the envelope in USB, then hides them. Later, she calls Asuman to say the crisis has been handled, but warns her not to cause any more trouble. Asuman smugly confronts Demet, ready to gloat. She boasts that the letter has been intercepted and everything is under her control now. Then she goes further, threatening to tell Hakan that Demet still harbors feelings for Farret. But Demet isn't fazed by the childish bluff. Hakan is her husband. He'd never believe some outsider over her. Instead, she flips the script and gives Asuman a new job, spy on the company and report everything back to her. If not, she'll expose everything to Farret. Cornered, Asuman has no choice but to agree. She tried to outplay Demet, but ended up losing more than she bargained for. Meanwhile, Dennis opens a new bar and invites all his friends for a night of celebration. Nazli, exhausted from juggling school and work, doesn't have the energy to dance like everyone else. Farret notices and asks if she wants to slip away for something to eat. The moment food is mentioned, Nazli lights up. She takes him to a quiet seaside diner she often visits. For the first time, Farret steps into a world outside his 5-star expectations and finds himself unexpectedly enchanted. The flavors are simple, yet they captivate his palate. Even the restaurant owner picks up on their chemistry, dimming the light and playing soft vinyl music. Something stirs in Farret, a spark of romance awakened. He sets down his fork, reaches out his hand, and asks Nazli for a dance. Under the moon, they sway slowly, their eyes lock with unspoken affection as they spin together, drawing closer not just in body, but in heart. Neither notices the camera recording from the shadows. In order to bring down Farret, Hakan and Demet call Bus, Farret's ex-girlfriend, to their house. Bus's father is drowning in debt after a failed investment. Hakan aches her and offer. They'll clear her family's debt if she does one thing for them. All she has to do is go out to dinner with Farret, act close, maybe even lure him into bed. Bus appears swayed by the promise of money and agrees to their plan on the spot. As soon as she walks out of the villa, Bus dials Farret's number and says she's just returned to the country and would like to have dinner with him to talk. Although they broke up a long time ago, Farret treats Bus as a friend and doesn't hesitate to agree to her invitation. He even leaves work early to go home to change his clothes. At the same time, Nazli is in the kitchen, cheerfully preparing all his favorite dishes. But Farret apologizes. He's meeting an old friend for dinner. Though Nazli is technically off the clock, the disappointment on her face is hard to hide, especially when she hears that he calls a woman called Bus to arrange a place to dine. Her heart sinks. She claims it doesn't bother her, but that night, she and her best friend just happened to dine at the same restaurant. With gossip in their hearts, they choose a table within view, unable to resist pecking at Farret. In fact, Bus never intended to deceive Farret. She comes clean, confessing that this entire dinner was orchestrated by Hakan. To her, Farret is just an old friend, someone she never wanted to hurt. Farret smiles and says, "Then I should thank Hakan for giving us a chance to meet again after 2 years." Bus updates him on her life. She's engaged now, and her father is drowning in debt. Farret kindly offers to speak with her father about a possible business collaboration. Grateful, Buzz reaches across the table to thank him, and Farret gently brushes her hand in response, a well-meaning gesture of comfort. Ironically, it is this open and honest gesture is exactly what will be used against him in tomorrow's hearing. Meanwhile, Nazli sees them from afar, and jealousy surges within her. Still, when her best friend calls her out, she stubbornly refuses to admit her feelings for Farret. Thankfully, the next day, the secretary explains everything to her. Realizing it was all a misunderstanding, Nazli lights up with relief. But what none of them realize is just how vicious and calculating Hakan truly is. Today marks the second hearing in court, also the day Hakan and Demet finally spring the trap they've spent weeks setting. Their lawyer paints Farret as a reckless playboy, presenting photos of him dancing with Nazli and holding hands with Busso over dinner. The lawyer accuses Farret of maintaining an inappropriate relationship with his house cook while keeping ambiguous ties with an ex-fiancé. A man with such a chaotic personal life is unfit to raise a child in a healthy environment. Only a stable, 2-parent household like Hakan and Demet's can truly offer Bula a happy future. Faced with these claims, the court once again rules in favor of Demet, granting her custody of Bulat. Nazli is crushed by the verdict and rushes out of the courtroom in guilt. She blames herself for everything, for being the reason Farret and the little boy are suffering now. Later that night, Farret sits alone in the garden, quietly drowning his sorrow in alcohol. Nazli finds him there, determined to finally confess her sister's betrayal. But first she apologizes, saying if she hadn't danced with him that night, those photos wouldn't exist. The court wouldn't have used them against him. Farret reassures her that none of this is your fault. If anything, it's me who pulled you into something you never should have been part of. Hearing this, Nazli's heart sinks even deeper. She grabs the wine and takes a long drink. The two sit in silence, drinking to dull the weight in their hearts. In the haze of alcohol, Nazli forgets what she came to say, and Farret, no longer hiding behind his walls, reaches for her hand. His touch lingering as he brushes her flushed cheek. And then, a kiss, two people drawn to each other, finally crossing the line they've been tiptoeing around for so long. Meanwhile, Dennis finds himself pursued by a love he no longer wants. His ex-girlfriend, Alia, says she still loves him and pleads with him to get back together. However, Dennis kills her hopes in the cruelest way. He kisses her lips, only to follow it with a cold confession. He feels nothing, and the only woman he loves now is Nazli. Alia is left devastated, shattered by his rejection. What he doesn't know is that the woman he claims to love is in Farret's arms at this very moment. But the two are far too drunk to go any further. They simply drift off, resting side by side on the sofa. Come morning, Nazli is no longer the fearless girl she was last night. Panic sets in as guilt creeps over her. She bolts to the kitchen, desperate to escape what she fears she's done wrong. Just then, her best friend calls to see how she's doing. Her friend urges her to come clean to Farret about her sister's mistake, saying the guilt will haunt her every night and keep her from moving forward with her life. Nazli knows she's right. It's time to face the truth. But just as she walks out to confess, Dennis arrives unexpectedly. And once again, Nazli swallows her words. BFF hit the nail on the head when she pointed out that Nazli is already in love with Farret. Nazli retorted that she is not. She is just worried that he will find out about her sister. BFF went on to fill in the gaps and said, instead of you worrying about your sister, let's talk about what Farret will think when he finds out about it. Nazli didn't admit to it, and just said that it is not possible for her and Farret to be together. Gossip is something we all love. On the other hand, my cousin also asked Farret and Nazli how far they are now. Farret says he's not sure. He senses that Nazli has a crush on him, but she keeps avoiding him for some reason. Cousin suggests him to take the initiative. She might be too nervous and shy. Farret is still a bit torn. His head is telling him to stay calm, but his heart is encouraging him to go after love. To push him to take the initiative, his cousin gives him movie tickets and asks him to meet Nazli. Farret then dialed Nazli's number and asked her where she was without getting to the point. Nazli replied that she was at a remote vegetable garden with Dennis. Farret was jealous again and said there was nothing going on and hung up. As it turns out, Dennis made the first move, before Farret even had the chance. A few hours earlier, he had invited Nazli to his bar to discuss an upcoming event. He asked her to help design the menu and choose the freshest ingredients. Nazli brought him to a classmate's vegetable garden and guided him through picking fresh fruits and vegetables. Dennis seizes the moment to flirt with Nazli, telling her that whenever he's with her, everything feels peaceful and the world seems a little brighter. But Nazli misses the hint entirely. She simply sees him as a friend. She compliments him, saying he's one of the most genuine people she knows. You may look like a grown man, but you have the heart of a child. Wherever you go, people love you very much. Dennis smiles at her words, convinced that maybe she feels something for him too. But sometimes, love makes people blind, while outsiders see everything clearly. During a group outing, the way Farret gazes at Nazli with such intensity doesn't escape Alia's sharp eyes. Sensitive as ever, she instantly realizes there's something mutual between Farret and Nazli. Later that night, during a live set at the bar, Alia confesses her love for Dennis in front of everyone and says that she can't stop loving him. Everyone admires her passion and courage. But Dennis reacts with anger, yelling that what they had is over and he wants to move on with his life. As he says it, he sneaks a glance at Nazli, trying to gauge her reaction. Farret sees it and can't shake the uneasy feeling. Dennis might be stepping into territory he thought was his. Not long after, Dennis privately tells Alia for the 100th time that he no longer has feelings for her. The only person in his heart now is Nazli. He throws down a sheet of music, revealing that he's been writing a song for her, trying to spare him more heartbreak. Alia finally says it. Nazli doesn't love you. She only sees you as a friend. Can't you see the way she and Farret look at each other? Dennis refuses to believe it, thinking she's just being bitter. Alia says, one day, when the truth hits you, it's going to hurt. Maybe I'll be the only one who'll be there for you, even if it's just as a friend. On her way out of the house, Alia runs into Ferit. Ferit notices that she's in a bad mood and asks her what's wrong. Not wanting to ruin anyone's relationship, Alia doesn't mention Nazli's name, but only says that Dennis has fallen in love with another woman, and he's writing her a song. Ferit knows exactly what that means. For a musician, composing a song isn't just love, it's choosing someone with your whole being. Later, he walks into the room and casually asks Dennis what kind of song he's working on. Dennis doesn't offer much, just that it's for someone he loves deeply. While Dennis steps out to make coffee, Ferit glances at the notebook on the desk, and there it is, Nazli's name written at the top of it. Dennis soon returns and admits that he no longer loves Alia and wants nothing to do with her. He's fallen for someone new. Ferit instantly realizes Dennis is talking about Nazli, but he plays dumb, choosing instead to offer a word of caution. Some things are better thought through before you act. Rushing in blind can hurt you, in ways you've already been through with Alia. But people in love rarely listen. Dennis replies with certainty, I know exactly what I feel. I love her. Once the song is ready, I'm going to play it in front of everyone and tell her. From this point on, it's a silent war for Nazli's heart, and neither man plans to back down. This is Maroon Recap. Check out my homepage, and you'll see more recaps of Full Moon. I'm hastening to write and edit the next recap, so feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.